everybody, happy new year to everybody. Welcome to my channel, Universal Soul Vibrations. I was gonna live stream this so I didn't have to do the upload thing, but YouTube won't let me at this point because my channel's not big enough. So I'm gonna have to do the upload thing, which is gonna slow things down at getting each one done. But that's okay, we'll work with it, so stuff may go up later. This is gonna be the 2020 overall look through each month for the sign of Taurus. We'll look at each month of the year, and we'll look at the moon, the full moon, and the new moon for each month. And we're also going to look at what your overall theme is going to be for the year. And with the cards that came up for Taurus, it looks like Taurus is going to have a year of facing their fears, doing things, stepping outside of their comfort zone, basically, for Tauruses. We got the Dragon's Lyre. And as soon as this card fell out, the first thing that came in my head was facing fears. If you look at the Dragon's Lyre image, it definitely looks like it's a bit of a scary place. And you're going to be entering into some zones that, you know, some unknown territories this year, Taurus, which is going to have to make you release some of those fears that you've carried with you for a very long time. The big saying for you guys this year is do something daily that scares you, to get you out of that comfort zone, because we know Tauruses really do enjoy the comfort zone area. They don't like change. They don't like stepping outside of things that are comfortable to them. But it looks like 2020 for you guys, there's going to be a lot of that happening for you. And with the Dragon's Lyre card coming up, your internal warning system, which, you know, your intuition is going to let you know when things aren't working right for you or they're out of alignment. And also with the Dragon's card, know that you're being divinely protected and directed this year as you step into those new territories for you. But, you know, it's going to give you a life that you can live more fully, not just in safety. The Alice in Wonderland card that came up with this is We're All Mad Here. And when this card comes up for me, it just talks about, you know, you being able to recognize and celebrate your uniquenesses. So that's going to be a big theme of this year too. As you step out of your comfort zones, you're going to really recognize what your uniquenesses are and be able to celebrate them, and not only your own, but the uniquenesses of those around you. So it looks like a big year of doing a lot of new things for you guys, Taurus. All right, let's look at what we've got for the month of January. So the full moon in January is going to be on January 10th. And it's also going to be a lunar eclipse, and it's going to be in Cancer. Cancer shows up quite a bit this year in the moon cycles. When Cancer shows up in the full moon on the 10th, it talks about safety related to home and family and related activities, such as cooking, gardening. So in January, I don't think you're going to be quite ready to step too far out of those comfort zones. Your emotions may fluctuate. And you also learn to forgive and forget in order to avoid depression from overthinking. And the perception of the world needs to be subjective. The new moon on 1/24 is going to be in Aquarius. And once again, we're tapping into the emotions. Your relationships with your emotions might be a bit more complicated at this time, because the moon in Aquarius has a need for emotional freedom. However, when you're in groups of people, it's easier for you to understand your feelings and free yourself from negative emotions. The first card that came up for January is Strategy. So going with the theme of stepping outside of those comfort zones, facing your fears, the month of January is going to be built on making a plan. When I think of strategy, I think of making a plan on how I'm going to do some things. So maybe, you know, lots of people make New Year's resolutions. They usually don't keep them. But it looks like for you, January is going to be your month where you're going to decide what you want to work on, you know, the new places that you want to head towards, that take you out of your comfort zone. The quote that goes with the strategy card is peace is a daily, a weekly, a monthly process, gradually changing opinions, slowly eroding old barriers, quietly building new structures. And this definitely goes along with the theme of, stepping outside of that comfort zone. This card talks about changing opinions, getting rid of old beliefs and old things that have been holding you back, and building new structures around you. Um, so in January, it looks like you're going to make a plan on how to do that. In February, on February 19th, we've got the full moon in Leo. Oh, forgot your crystal for the month of January. So your crystal for the month of January is pink sapphire, this is a beautiful card. And the pink sapphire The pink sapphire's meaning is forgiveness, choosing to heal, acceptance, and letting go, soothing the heart. So with the strategy card and the pink sapphire card here, maybe you're making a plan on how to choose to heal relationships, forgive some relationships, and letting go of things that really aren't working for you anymore. And you're making a plan on how to do that. With the pink sapphire, have you heard that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself? Pink sapphire, Spirit's message to you is not to concern yourself with the law of karma right now. For while your loving heart wants to see justice serve for the good of all, in this moment you are called to align yourself with the universal laws by choosing to heal yourself. It is time to start the process of forgiving those who did you harm. And that means deciding consciously that they will not determine your story of who you are and what you have experienced. For you are a powerful storyteller and co-creator, and you will tell a heroic tale of overcoming that which has caused you pain. And it's releasing those fears. Your willingness to engage in healing, to free yourself from your past and soothe your heart is an awesome superpower. Pink Sapphire Spirit is here as a reminder that you can do the work, that walking through the forge of fire and letting go of the pain will remake you strong as steel going forward. You will persist as you embrace the wisdom you have earned. Find the power to say never again by making the choice to heal yourself and forgive yourself for not knowing better. Positive things are to come, and you can rest assured that the conscious universe is your ally in the process of healing, acceptance, and forgiveness. So, it looks like the strategy for January for Taurus is going through that process of healing, accepting what didn't work for you, and forgiving. In February, on February 19th, we have the full moon in Leo. And when the full moon in Leo comes up, it says you feel safe in moments when you can impress others and get praise and admiration. Yet when you get in the spotlight, you may find yourself at a loss. Maybe you should admit your fear of criticism and inability to accept very important feedback to use it for improvement. So there may be some situations that you get put in the month of February where, there's some criticism that comes on. And a lot of us Tauruses, we always kind of look for that acceptance thing. We don't like I don't like being in the spotlight. I'm a Taurus. But, it looks like February during the full moon, it's time to admit that, you fear criticism, and sometimes you have a hard time accepting important feedback. So learn to use it as in a way to improve rather than fearing it. On February 23rd, we've got the new moon in Pisces. We have greatest sensitivity and perceptiveness of your surroundings. You can experience feelings of insecurity. Be passive and only want to see what happens and only wait and see what happens in your life. If you engage in creative spiritual speech, you will benefit from Pisces' great imagination. So, what this is basically saying is that you might be having moments where you feel insecure and you're just waiting for things to come to you rather than taking action on things. The card that came up for Taurus in the month of February is the fertility card. fertility. Obviously, we think of, pregnancy and stuff. And if some of you, that's what you're trying to do as a Taurus, this may be a good month to try that. But I see this card more as a period of growth for you guys. February is going to be a big period of growth for Tauruses with the fertility card coming up. The quote that goes with the fertility card is, "There is peace in the garden, peace and results. Your words, actions, and attitude will grow wheresoever they may fall. A little effort, a small gesture will grow into your future. Plant tomorrow wisely. A good idea leads to many more." So, the month of February is about planting those seeds. January for you guys was more about kind of making a plan, strategizing, figuring out how you're going to move forward, healing yourself. And then February is your month where you're going to start planting some seeds for some growth. The crystal that came with February for Taurus is the amber. And the amber crystal its essential meaning is healing family patterns, releasing karma, preserving the wisdom gained by the lesson of the past. So the two crystals that came up January and February, both of them talk about healing past, past energies that weren't really working for you, and gaining the wisdom that they were meant to bring to you. What the lesson was. The families we come into as infants and the ones we grow up in offer us experiences that yield gifts, lessons, and love about resilience and forgiveness, and about our own power to leave behind old ways and embrace the new. Our current families do this too. By exploring our relationships with family members, we can discover our own strength and wisdom. Amber Spirit is here with a message to reconnect with the wounded story you still recount, one that is a legacy of your family. Can you heal this story and instead tell one from the perspective of love? How beautiful it is to alchemically change the experience of family. This way you receive and give love within a family as defined by the heart and the magic of the conscious universe, who sends people your way to make sure you have the caring and affection you need and deserve. Friends can be new family. Reflect today on the love you have created for yourself and how precious you are, a gem like no other. Reflect on the family surrounding you, the guides and manifestations of the conscious universe here to support you and send you love, and then some more love. Look to those who choose to offer you this gift, for they are your human and animal family. Draw strength from knowing that love shows up always to bring you what was missing in your own family in the past. This balm is available for you to heal the family wound that has hurt for a long time. So with the ending part of that, it kind of sounds like for some Tauruses there may be a new relationship showing up with the amber crystal coming up. And there may be a new relationship growing in your life in February with the fertility card. All right, let's look at March. In March, on March 9th, we have the full moon in Virgo. Your feeling of safety is now related to order and clarity. Even in emotions, you may have the need to organize everything chaotic and disorganized. Try being more tolerant and accept the imperfections of life. It is better to trust life and let it run its own way. Not everything must be according to our expectation. Virgos can be very, they're perfectionists. Nothing, lots of times, nothing is ever good enough. And with the full moon in Virgo, it's asking you, it's time for you to try to be more tolerant of the imperfections of life and just let life flow for you. Don't have preconceived expectations on how things are going to occur. Just let it see where it takes you. On March 24th, the new moon in Aries, the feeling of uncertainty can make you solve problems faster than is natural. Do not rush as if there is a deadline. Try to slow down so that you can You can decide what you want to do to proceed at your own comfortable pace. So as you kind of go through this going with the flow, don't try to rush through life. You know, take everything in. And um, the Virgo sign is represented by the Hermit card in the tarot deck. You know, maybe you need to spend some time with each thing that comes across your way in the month of March 2020, rather than just rushing from one thing to another. The card that came up is truth. So there may be a new truth that's being discovered in the month of March for Tauruses. I think it's going to be a new truth about yourself, to be honest with you, because the first 2 months were a lot of introspection, making a plan on how you're going to grow new things in your life. But you gotta look truth in the eye and say, okay, well, what's coming to mind to me is look truth in the eye and say, well, what part did I play? And how can I change that is what I'm getting. Seeking a new truth in March for Tauruses. The quote that goes with the truth card is, "A quiet conscience makes one strong," and that's from Anne Frank. And, you know, the divinatory meaning for this card is being honest with yourself. And it's a process, and it isn't always easy. It's a heartfelt realization over a misunderstanding can lead to harmony. There's no one to blame. Rejoice that the veil has lifted. So definitely discovering, I think, a new truth about yourself in March. The crystal that we got is malachite. Malachite's one of my favorites, even though green is not my favorite color, but I do like malachite. And the essential meaning for malachite is... Sorry, I don't have all these memorized, so I have to get to the page. Essential meaning is clarity of thought and emotions, the right use of intellect, integrating thoughts, and integration. And how well this goes along with the truth card that came up, okay? You've got to have clarity of thought in order to, you know, see the truth. Overthinking can make you feel like, and we talked about overthinking when the new moon comes up in, when the full moon comes up in Virgo on March 9th. Overthinking can make you feel like you are starting to lose it, but Malachite Spirit has appeared to let you know that there is a difference between unproductive ruminating and taking the time to apply logic that can help you make sense of what you know. Reasoning with clarity means the right use of your intellect as you consider all the evidence. You know, I almost feel like this is kind of saying, put your emotions aside and really look at the logical truth that's around. This includes evidence produced by opening yourself to messages from the conscious universe through your first sense, intuition. Your reasoning powers are at their peak right now, so let go of any old beliefs that would make your doubt Malachite Spirit's message, which is to trust that you are smart enough to sort through all the information before you. And that's when that new truth comes out for you, Taurus, in March. On April 8th, we have the full moon in Libra. You might have a strong need for balance and harmony because Libra is all about balance and harmony. You probably desire to keep things nice rather than venturing into fundamental questions in order to disturb the peace. You must learn to share your good and bad feelings. Do not be afraid of who you really are. You know, it's basically saying that you'll do anything to avoid conflict, and Libras are like that. They want that harmony. They want that peace. But sometimes we have to disrupt things in order to learn who we really are or what our path is. On 4/23, the new moon is in Taurus, so you should feel right at home here. Your safety depends, excuse me, your safety depends on the need for stability, which is not easy to satisfy now. Taurus loves stability. We are quite a fixed sign. You have to learn to accept change as part of life. We hate change, so it's time to accept change. The basic problem is finding your own self respect in order to ensure that you do not mistakenly seek it in material things. When you accept yourself for who you are, it will become easier for you to find peace and tranquility in the outside world. So, no shopping sprees in April, Taurus. Um, it's time for you to really look at yourself and find out who you really are, no matter what age you are. The card that came up for you guys in April is Timeless Earth. And this is really a beautiful card. When I look at this Timeless Earth card, things are timeless. To me, it's kind of saying don't put a timeline on things is the message that I'm getting with this card. The linear time that we work on was developed by humans, but the spirit world doesn't, have a linear time like we do. The quote that comes with the Timeless Earth card, and when all the wars are over, a butterfly will still be beautiful. And that's about transformation. So in April, you may be starting to make some changes from all the healing that you've done in January and February, and the new truths that have come to you in March. The divinatory meaning of Timeless Earth is this too will pass. Slow your pace and resist rushing ahead. There will be another day, another chance. Seek firm foundation, solid values, or a core message, and have patience. I think that's just reiterating, what we talked about with the full moon, the new moon in Aries in March, that talked about not rushing through things. And this card is basically saying the same thing. Slow down, have patience. It's a process. This whole year is going to be a process for Tauruses. You're working on releasing your fear and entering uncharted territories. The crystal that came up is Smithsonite. And the essential meaning of Smithsonite is rebirth from chaos, evolution, stress relief, emotional boost, clearing of obstacles to growth, which is awesome. So you might need to pick yourself up some Smithsonite in April, because it's going to help. Just for 2020 in general, it's going to help, clear obstacles that are in your way so that growth can occur. From here to there can be a rocky road, one that may even seem to move under your feet as you engage in a process of healing with roiling emotions. The journey can be confusing and unsettling and cause you to want to beat a hasty retreat. But Smithsonite's spirit message is clear as can be. You are haltingly moving forward into creating something new. If you feel as if you're unsteady and even going a little backward at times, it is only because you are being asked to look to the past and the lessons learned so that your next steps can be sure and steady. The ground is firm beneath you, the wind is at your back, and the conscious universe is beside you. So there is no need to look for what may seem to be safer ground. The landscape around you is changing. You are changing, and soon you will feel much more settled. If you heed the call of Smithsonite spirit and trust that you'll be just fine, so breathe. It's all going to resolve soon, and the obstacles you find daunting will disappear. Obviously this particular crystal talks about discomfort quite a bit, and it is very it's very uncomfortable for Taurus to move out of their comfort zones. But it's saying it's time for you to do that, Taurus. You've got to get out of that, stagnation, which keeps you in the same circles, doing the same things. It's time for those new charted territories. And once again, we talked about healing again, releasing all that negativity of the past, okay? So in May, we've got on May 7th, the full moon in Scorpio. With the full moon in Scorpio creates the need to delve into your feelings as deep as possible. You desire meaningful emotional exchanges now more than at any other time, even if it is not easy, and you are forced to change many things. Shallow relationships do not satisfy you because they are not purifying enough. On May 22nd, we've got the new moon in Gemini. Moon in Gemini manifests itself by the need for changes and spontaneity. Safety lies in thinking about your feelings and sharing them with others. You can be talkative and speak with ease these days. You might have a better ability to keep a cool head, but beware. Cold heart can discourage others. Harmony of thinking and feeling is important. So in the month of May, with the full moon and the new moon, we're talking about working together with the head and the heart. Full moon in Scorpio is saying you're probably going to have to delve more into your feelings as deep as possible. And the new moon in Gemini is saying, don't just work with your head. You need to, work with both. The card that came up for May is nature in May. And that's when, May is when spring starts, winter's coming to an end. Spring starts to pop up, so maybe you need to spend some more time outside because you've been cooped up all winter, Taurus. Taurus, is the earth mother. So when we are locked inside, we kind of do get inside our head quite a bit. And, it's just saying maybe it's time for you to get outside in May. The quote for the nature card is, "I took a walk in the woods and came out taller than the trees." Henry David Thoreau. Yep, you just need to spend some more time in nature in May just to realign yourself from the winter hermit phases. And I think you're going to be feeling much better when May comes around and you can get outside and get into nature. The crystal that came out is pyrite. And one of the things pyrite brings in is abundance. So let's look and see what the essential meaning is for pyrite. Inherent value, knowing your worth, self-appreciation, genuine abundance, and prosperity within. Throughout the ages, humans have sought the gems of the earth, the crystals whose beauty delighted the eye and whose powers could aid them in their quest to achieve a sense of safety and abundance. They recognize the intrinsic value of these gifts from nature, and when pyrite spirit appears, you are meant to appreciate the abundance that the conscious universe has provided, an abundance of opportunities, resources, support, and most importantly, love. A scarcity mentality will prevent you from seeing all that is available to you, and you are called now to offer thanks for the myriad gifts you have been given to help you achieve balance. As you take your healing journey, you will find it easier and easier to recognize that you will always have what you need. Abundance awaits as you ready yourself to claim it. The conscious universe has your back. What you need will not be denied you at this time, so open yourself to receiving it by practicing appreciation. Okay, so, one of the things that came to mind to me when I was reading this is, we tend to only really appreciate the big things that happen in your life. And with this, I think a big message is appreciate life's simple pleasures, like being able to go out into nature and walk in the woods and enjoy, the birds singing and the flowers blooming. And that's always healthy for everyone. In June, we've got on 6/5, we've got the full moon and a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. The greatest need is to always search for something. In order to feel safe, you might find that you need to have a goal, some type of mission or philosophy that gives your life meaning. With moon in Sagittarius, You have an optimistic approach to life and you believe that things will get better even if you get in trouble. And I think part of that optimistic attitude comes in June, because now you're finally able to get out and breathe in some fresh air. On June 21st, we have a solar eclipse and new moon in Cancer. We're back to Cancer again. And this is all about the safety related to home, family, and related activities. Cooking, gardening, just spending time at home. There could be some emotional fluctuations. Learn to forgive and forget in order to avoid depression from overthinking. And the perception of the world should be subjective. I think there's going to be a more optimistic attitude coming in June in general. As I said, we've moved out of the winter months when people, a lot of people suffer from seasonal affective disorder or SAD, whatever you want to call it. And I think that our attitudes are going to get better. But we're still going to kind of be stuck a bit in our emotions when that new moon and solar eclipse comes up on 6/21. The card that came up for you guys in June is the Gateway card. Something's opening up for you. When we think of a gateway, it's a door opening up. So there's going to be some type of door opening up for Taurus in the month of June. The quote that goes with the Gateway card is, "I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear." This is all about expansion, this Gateway card. Some type of expansion is occurring. It could be happening either through networking or education. New phases beginning when the Gateway card comes up. And, there's you're going to recognize the pathway to achievement when this Gateway card. So definitely new opportunities. Something's opening up for Taurus in June. The crystal, I need to get a drink. Hang on one second. The crystal that came up is moldavite. Lots of green crystals for you guys, Taurus. Your birthstone is green, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. We got 1, 2, 3 so far. The essential meaning for moldavite is transformation, rebirth through fire. This fits perfectly with the Gateway card, okay? Something's opening up. There's changes happening. You're walking through a new gate. Rebirth through fire, initiation and opening to new experiences, revitalization and renewal. New doors open and you cross the threshold. It can be exhilarating to know that you are stepping out of the old and into new light. New self, ready for the unexpected gifts that come with this initiation. Moldavite Spirit's message is to know that as you walk through an open door, you are being reborn in a sense, for you will be different once you have made a conscious choice to say goodbye to what was. Rebirth always involves tension and struggle. Crystals can only form if there is plenty of pressure to change. If you are frustrated or uncomfortable, know that relief is on the way, so just focus on what is happening as a better tomorrow begins to reveal itself. Your passage into the new is assured, so be present, be open, be ready for healing to take place. This new experience requires a new you in a sense, a you that recognizes that you belong here, that you truly can let go of the old. You are so loved and the conscious universe is so proud of you. The big message that I was getting while I was reading that was don't fight it, okay? June is going to be a big month for Tauruses, where there's going to be, new gateways opening up, changes occurring within yourself. Don't be resistive to it. In July, on July 5th, we've got a lunar eclipse, full moon in Capricorn. You might have a strong need for being useful to society, and you look for justification in the outside world. You may underestimate what you want from yourself and for yourself. Shyness may be accompanied by resentment of the fact that others ignore you. Do not seek approval from the outside. It will not help you get rid of your doubt, and it is harmful to you. You have to trust your inner values. On July 20th, we have Cancer's back again. We got the new moon in Cancer, and we all know that's about the safety related to home. You know, emotions might be taking a little bit of a fluctuation at this time. Um, Make sure you're not overthinking things. You know, perception of the world be subjective. So, you know, you might get a bit emotional around this, you know, the end of July. We're in July, right? And part of that may be coming in because so many changes are coming in for you. The card that came up is transformation. We all know what the transformation means. Change, okay? Change is coming in. But if you look at this particular transformation card, a lot of these cards are trees. Strong roots, okay? You know, you have strong roots. And, you know, keep yourself grounded as this transformation occurs and grounded in your roots, okay? And, you know, the roots that we were planted in aren't necessarily going to change, but the way that we perceive them may be changing. The quote for the transformation card: as a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change towards him. This is the divine mystery supreme. A wonderful thing it is, and the source of our happiness. We need not wait to see what others do. And that's by Gandhi. And this is just about, you know, taking charge of your own life and making the changes necessary that need to be made as you move forward in discovering your new path and your new self. The crystal that came up is eucalyptus. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And the essential meaning for eucalyptus is wisdom from within, inner truth, aligning in divine intelligence, trusting your own earned wisdom. And this is basically, during this transformation, trust your intuition. When you are distracted by all the noise and stimulation that are part of our lives now, it can be hard to trust that you have what it takes to make wise choices. The appearance of equalized spirit is a sign that valuable insights can be found through tapping into your intuitive intelligence. So in the month of July, it's important that you tap into your intuition and listen to it. When it comes to knowing the truth, there is no substitute for lived experience that has been recalled and examined. Through a process of alchemy, your experiences have generated wisdom that can guide you when you feel lost or confused. You know more than you think. Trust your inner wisdom, for it is guided by the conscious universe. You are learning that fear can distort your intuitive intelligence. So release, and there's that fear word coming up. So release any worry and tune in within. You have a vast library of knowledge available to you and wise and loving guidance that will help you. And your spirit is around you to help you and guide you along this time of change for you. In the month of August, on August 8th, we have a full moon in Aquarius. Your relationship with your emotions might be more complicated because Moon in Aquarius has a need for emotional freedom. However, when you are in groups of people, it is easy for you to understand your feelings and free yourself from negative emotions. On August 19th, we have a new moon in Leo, and you're going to feel safe in moments when you can impress others and get praise and admiration. Yet when you get in the spotlight, you may find yourself at a loss. Maybe you should admit your fear of criticism and inability. So that's, the inability to accept criticism. Fear comes up again in the new moon in August. Priority is the card that came up for August. So what is your priority? What's important to you is basically the question being asked in August. I think you're going to be spending August really delineating what is the most important things in your life and the things that you want to keep working towards and improving upon and you know, just put the most focus and attention on. So finding out your priorities in August. The quote for the priority card is, "And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." And that's from the Corinthians 13:13. There's an angel double number. You'll have to look that 13:13 up. Um, but, you know, this talks about, the priority card talks about identifying one thing that's going to make the biggest difference. Be it to sit, stare, read, share, leave, write, enroll, invite, challenge, clear, clean, connect. Do this one thing and do it well. Okay? So what's your priority? You're going to be defining your priorities in August. In September, on September 2nd, we have, oh, I forgot your crystal for, sorry. For August, we got citrine. Okay, and citrine is a very, it's a protecting crystal. It's a cleansing crystal. So citrine, essential meaning, joyful expressiveness, exuberance, and happiness. Letting go of any and all negativity, because citrine cleanses. Now is the time for you to be you and to experience the tremendous joy available to you. With all the hard work you do to overcome your old patterns, heal the wounds of the past, and forgive yourself and others, as you walk the healing path, you might find that you have forgotten how to just have fun and laugh. Be happy today. Citrine spirit is here to amplify the joy in your life, so feel it and express it as if you are broadcasting it to the entire planet, because you are. However serious life might feel, the conscious universe really wants all of us to have fun. So you are doing important work when you exuberantly share your joy with the world. Make time for play, pure playfulness, and joy today. And that may be the priority that happens in August. Just learning how to make time for more joy in your life, and being happy. In September, on September 2nd, we have the full moon in Pisces, and we've already hit that one. And on September 17th, we've got the new moon in Virgo. The Pisces full moon, you know, talks about sensitivities and perceptions of your surroundings, feeling, you might experience feelings of insecurity, be passive and only want to see what happens in your life rather than engaging in it. And the new moon in Virgo talks about feeling safe and order and clarity, even in your emotions, needing to want to organize everything that's chaotic and disorganized, trying to be more tolerant. Being more tolerant, I think, is the big message of the new moon in Virgo. Being more tolerant of imperfections in life. The card that came up is patience, okay? So it's time for you to have patience with the whole process, with the whole transformational process. Take it little steps at a time, and have patience with yourself and the world around you, as the changes occur, as you step out of that, you know, place of safety that you've always kind of kept yourself cocooned and bubbled in. The quote that comes with the patience card is, "Your mind will answer most questions if you learn to relax and wait for the answer." William S. Burroughs. Yeah, just another message to not rush through things in life, okay? Even in daily life. Make sure you experience everything that comes across your path in 2020. The crystal that we got is a blue chalcedony. I'm not sure if I pronounced that one right. Let's see what we got for blue chalcedony. It's probably chalcedony. And it's the 11, so that's gonna be a very spiritual month for you. opening up even more gateways. The essential meaning is, well, we just talked about all of this. Slowing down, easy does it, restoring balance and serenity. And that's what patience does, correct? Life's pace can feel overwhelming at times, and this crystal shows up just when you need to slow down and experience serenity and balance. Certainty won't present itself just because you are rushing around. Blue Chalcedony Spirit brings the message to immerse yourself in the moment and to surrender your sense of urgency to the conscious universe. You are pushing too hard now. Easy does it as you transition from the old ways into the new and begin to try out your fledgling wings. You are ever evolving, and the unfamiliar can send you hurrying back to where you were or rushing ahead to get past the uncomfortable part. The part where you have to confront the truth that you are facing many unknowns. Your fearful ego will try to convince you that the way to get what you need is to work harder and faster and move as swiftly as possible. But your best action now is to slow down. Allow yourself to be clear on what you want so that your intentions begin to coalesce in ways that will please you. As you look around, be fully present to what is, allowing a sense of tranquility and ease to arise in you even though you may not be able to see what to do next. The conscious universe has much to offer you, so take a breath and remember, easy does it. There's that message again of slowing down. In October, we got 3 moons in October. On October 1st, we have the full moon in Aries. And we talked about, and then all of these we've already talked about. So October 1st, we got the full moon in Aries. On October 16th, we've got the new moon in Libra. And October 31st, we're back to the full moon in Taurus. The full moon in Aries, that's just one of those things that says it's time to slow down. You're trying to do things faster than is natural. Don't rush things. The new moon in Libra is looking for balance and harmony. And the full moon in Taurus, looking for safety and stability. And learning how to change, learning to be able to accept change as part of life is one of the big things in the full moon in Taurus. The card that came up is the action card. Okay, so it's time to take some action in the month of October. We're getting towards the end of 2020 now. All this work you've been doing on healing, on growing things, on, finding a new truth and facing truths that didn't work for you. Changes that have occurring, figuring out what your priorities are. Now it's, time to take the strategy that you thought about and maybe even mapped out in January and move forward on it. It's time to move forward in October. The quote that comes with the action card is, change your life today. Don't gamble on the future. Act now without delay. A dream will remain, and that's from Simone de Beauvoir. A divinatory meaning is, a dream will remain merely a dream unless you do something about it. Make something happen. Take strong, decisive action for yourself or on the behalf of someone else. So, yeah, October is all going to be about taking action towards that new you or something, a new path. Dalmatian stone came up in the month of October as the crystal. And the essential meaning for the Dalmatian stone is playfulness, childlike joy and enthusiasm for life, absurdity, humor, and laughter. Watch children playing and you are watching them learn. Serious through life may seem at times. Serious through life may seem at times. Dalmatian stone spirit is calling you to embrace the absurdity of this world, to laugh and find humor in the everyday experiences that might otherwise frustrate you. All of us are here to learn, and laughter makes this lesson easier. And sometimes it even makes it stick a little better, for it can help you write a funny story to tell again and again. Remember that time Boy, did I learn my lesson. Now is a good moment to crack a joke to break the tension and remind yourself that alongside trouble and hardship dances a spirit of playfulness. This is not the time for trudging or marching, but for skipping. Sing a song, make a goofy face, and recognize that the conscious universe throws you off course at times to remind you that surprises can be gifts from the invisible realms. Dalmatian Stone Spirit is calling you to lighten up and open yourself to playing with the possibilities. Who knows what you will discover as you join in on the fun? The conscious universe is not here to trick you, but to help you, for you are deeply loved. So, maybe it's just taking that action to really, you know, laugh at yourself. The Dalmatian Stone's basically laughing at life and laughing at the silliness of life and, some of the things that you do in life. All right, on November 15th, we've got the new moon in Scorpio, and on November 30th, we've got a full moon and a lunar eclipse in Gemini. The new moon in Scorpio has us delving deep into your feelings. You desire more emotional exchanges than at any other time. And you're still a little fearful to change some things. There might be some relationships going to the wayside around the new moon of Scorpio. With the full moon and lunar eclipse in Gemini on the 30th, the moon in Gemini manifests itself by the need for changes and spontaneity. Safety lies in thinking about your feelings. So, we talked about Gemini before. Make sure you're working with your head and your heart around the full moon and the lunar eclipse in Gemini on the 30th, not just your head. The card that came out is release. Okay? Time to release all that stuff that we've been, all that past energy. This is when it's all going to be gone, is by November. All that healing work that you've done throughout the year. Looking your fears in the face and saying, you know what, I'm not afraid of you anymore. This is when all of that is going to be released. The quote that goes with the release card is, "You cannot find peace by avoiding life." And that's from Virginia Woolf. Yeah, it's November, it's gone. It's gone to the wayside. The crystal that came up here is Mookaite Jasper. And let's see what that essential meaning is for Mookaite Jasper. Number 36. So the essential meaning for Mookaite Jasper is risk, adventure, new experiences, exploring unknown territory, claiming your personal power. And how do we do that? By releasing all our fears, by releasing all that past, energy that's kept us stuck. Mookaite wants us to move on into that unknown territory in November. So it's going to take us almost the whole year to be able to really move into that new place. The seemingly safe road is not the one to take right now, for your soul is on a path of healing and wants you to experience fulfillment and joy. Mookaite Jasper Spirit is here to tell you that life is meant to be lived, so be adventurous now. Do not hold back to protect yourself from getting hurt, for this crystal has appeared to encourage you to take the leap. Take the risk and draw confidence from knowing you have the conscious universe as your ally. Let go of your worries and your old beliefs about the dragons that await you. That's funny, we got the dragon's lyre as your overall. Let go of your worries and your old beliefs about the dragons that await you if you dare to step out into the unknown. Risk-taking is required now, and you are fully supported in saying no to playing it safe. Mookaite Jasper Spirit's message is that the adventure before you is one of discovering wondrous gifts await you. New ideas, new partners, new experiences, and new possibilities for achieving what you desire. Be bold and venture forth. The force will be with you. So it looks like by November, we're definitely going to be ready to step into our new role. And we're going to have lots of new things, new people, new experiences around us. In December, we have a new moon and solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and that's on December 14th. And on December 30th, we have Cancer's back again, the full moon in Cancer. So with the two moons, you know, the moon in Sagittarius, the greatest need is to always search for something in order to feel safe. You might find that you need to have a goal, mission, or philosophy that gives you life meaning. Um, you're leaving the year with an optimistic approach with the new moon in Sagittarius. And you're going to believe that the next year is going to be even better than 2020. On December 30th, we've got the full moon in Cancer. And I think this is more of like, you know, we're going out of the year into a new year. It's kind of that nostalgic area that we kind of get stuck in. You know, that safety related to family and related activities. What are the few things that we were afraid to release in 2020? Creation is the card that came up. So the last 3 months, we've got starting to take action, releasing everything, and now something's being created, okay? So, you know, some type of new thing is being created in your life in December. The new you is finally there when December comes around. The quote for the creation card is, "For it isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it, and it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it." Eleanor Roosevelt. This is just, December's going to be a big time of creativity, productivity, and bringing your dreams and plans into fruition with the creation card. The crystal card that came up for Taurus in December is Pneumite. And let's get that essential meaning for Pneumite. Achieving self-mastery, inner power, recovering your sense of self. That's the whole journey that you're on this year. I mean, I talked about that in the beginning. You know, discovering who you are by allowing yourself to step outside of your comfort zones. Evidence of progress can seem elusive at times, but when numinous spirit appears, it is a sign, or Pneumite, it is a sign that you might be underestimating how far you have come. Our minds are conditioned to pay attention to the negative and overlook all that is good in our lives, including the results of our efforts over time. You may not have received a big blue ribbon or parade in your honor, but the conscious universe acknowledges and celebrates all your hard work mastering your fears. Make peace with the part of yourself that tells you that whatever you do, it will never be enough. You are developing mastery, and there will be times when you feel as if your progress is slow and inadequate, but you are called now to acknowledge that you have indeed persevered, learned much, and not given up. Doing so will help you to stay the course rather than veer off track. Be gentle with yourself as you master the challenges you always seem to overcome somehow. You are getting better at this thing called life, at building healthy relationships and prosperity, and at knowing and loving yourself as much as the conscious universe does. Give yourself credit and keep practicing. We are all learning, and Numinite Spirit is here to tell you that the conscious universe is watching and is so very proud of you. That sounds like one of my messages from my postcards from Spirit. But it seems by the end of the year, you're going to have mastered, you know, the love of self. You're going to have mastered who you are, who this new person is, and mastered, you know, taking life by the horns and enjoying every opportunity. So Taurus, it looks like 2020 is going to be a great year for you guys, but it's going to be one that you're going to have to really be willing to step outside of those comfort zones. And it's going to be one where you're going to have to really, you know, Taurus is famous for wanting to be in sameness. They don't like that change. So you're going to have to be willing to allow change to come into your life and be willing to get rid of the things that really aren't working for you any longer, whether it be on the inside or the outside, whether it be people, whether it be a job. But it's a lot of looking at this year and stepping into unknown chartered territory for Taurus. Once again, Happy New Year to everyone. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and share.